Oh, this was really good actually, and this is why I liked this article, because it was like kind of more unique. If you're trying to form or break a habit, this psychiatrist suggests breaking down the habit into its three parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. So, for example, if your bad habit is I check Twitter too often, or like your resolution would be like less social media, the cue is that you feel isolated. So then your routine would be to check Twitter, and then the reward is that you then feel connected. So a way to change the behavior would be, instead of checking Twitter, get up and talk to a colleague. Or for those of us that don't, work in an office type setting, or if it's COVID and you're not, maybe you're working at home, you could FaceTime a friend. You could, I wrote get up and talk. So I don't know, like if you live in an apartment building, you could just like say hi to someone in the elevator. Go get a coffee and chat with the barista. But for me, usually like FaceTiming a friend works. And also for me, sometimes it depends, because sometimes I do need like a personal like interaction or connection with someone. But sometimes if I've just been in my apartment for too long, just getting out and just walking around. And I live in a city, so there's always a lot of people out, and just like being around other people can really help. And I feel like especially throughout the pandemic and just being in the house so much, and maybe y'all don't relate to that anymore, but for those of us that work in the house, work at home, it can definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't even say lonely, because sometimes that feeling that I want isn't loneliness, but it's just like I need connection or just like social interaction. So even just walking around, if you make eye contact with another human, like sometimes literally that's enough. But yeah, like FaceTiming a friend, I will be on FaceTime with, those friends you can just like be on FaceTime with for hours and it's like you're not even talking. Sometimes that's nice. And then obviously, if you can like, I guess this is more like short term, but yeah, if you can like make plans with a friend or like actually have a one-on-one connection. But yeah, I low-key, not that I'm going to make this like a resolution, but I've kind of been noticing, especially over the past few weeks, as Omicron develops and increases, that Twitter has definitely been stressing me out more than providing me with joy or connection. So I low-key want to like check it less, and we're going to kind of talk about that later. But yeah, it's just like too overwhelming, bro. So another habit would be like, the bad habit is I don't get enough sleep at night. The resolution would be like, I want to get more sleep. The cue is I feel like I need time to myself in the evening. So the routine is I stay up way too late watching TV. The reward, you're entertained. But the way to change the behavior would be, instead of staying up late to watch TV, carve out special time each day to spend by yourself, even if that may mean asking for help with your children or taking a break from work each day. Boom. They also gave the example of like, if you smoke, you want to quit smoking, the cue is you're tired. The routine, I smoke a cigarette. The reward, I'm stimulated. So a way to change the behavior, instead of smoking a cigarette, replace the stimulus with something else like coffee, especially with smoking or vaping. I've heard people say getting especially with the oral fixation thing, having like candy, or someone said their hydro flask with like the sucky lid helped because it was like the same sensation of putting that into their mouth. Yeah, I've also heard, especially with smoking, that like sometimes it's just and I don't know where I heard this, I don't know if this is true, but it makes sense. But just like the part of the relief people get from smoking is not just the nicotine, but like the deep inhales. So like just taking deep breaths and like seeing how that makes you feel. Yeah, so there we go.